Passion cannot see beside her. Okay, so whenever we make a box plot, this is what we will do. We will make a number line on the bottom, and it has to go at least from 5 to 14. I can probably just go 5 to 14 without having to skip any numbers here. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yes.
So is this basically what we've been doing, or are we basically doing something different?
It's a little bit different. It includes some of the stuff we've been doing because we're still talking about median, but these quartiles are going to be different, and we'll be making this box plot here. So, with a box plot, the median is going to go in the middle, right here at 8. What I do is I make myself little. You need to keep them all level because we got to draw a box. I make little lines at every one of these. So the first quartile is at 6.5, so between 6 and 7. Third quartile is at 10.5, so right here between 10 and 11. Minimum is down here at 5, and maximum is up here at 14. All right, so these middle 3 make your box, and then when I was in school, they always called this a box and whisker plot. Our textbook we used last just called it a box plot, but those sides look a little bit like whiskers there. So box plots kind of show us how the data is spread out. It does show you the median, but it doesn't show you a lot of other information. What you have to remember with a box plot is each section of the box contains 25% of the data, right? So right here, for this section, that contains 25% of the data. Then this section right here also contains 25% of the data. This section right here is 25%. This section right here is 25%. Okay, so whenever a section of the box plot is longer, it does not mean there's more numbers there. It means that your data is more spread out. When a section is smaller, it does not mean there's fewer people that fall into that category. It means that those numbers are not very spread out. Okay, so this shows us how spread out our numbers are. So like when we looked at our number of pets, if I go back, do I still have that Desmos pulled up? Yeah. So we're going to do this in a second, but box plot P, it'll do a box plot for you. Oh, it even does it changes into outliers. That's neat. I didn't know it did that. If we drew this by hand, we'd just draw a line all the way out there. But this just shows us how spread out our data is. This box right here does not mean that there's more people that have between 2.5 and 6 pets. It means that data is a little bit more spread out than the number that have between 2 and 2.5 pets, right? Because there were 8 people that had 2 pets, right? So they're all falling in this range right here. Nobody had 2.5 pets. You can't have half a pet. All right, so box plot splits this up into 25, 25, 25, 25. All right, so price of gas. You can tell this is not current data right here. It was, not too long ago it was, but right now, definitely not current data. It's down to it was 335, I think, when I filled up the other day, so.
It was 389.
Where did you
whenever I filled up because it was only like,
It goes up and down.
Yeah. maybe I may have looked at it incorrectly
I've been 393.
because I wasn't all the way empty, but it was like 2 days ago at the Circle K. I thought it was 335. I could have looked at it wrong. It does change rapidly. It's gas prices are terribly unstable. They're all over the place. Yes.
Oh, that was.
That's the best way.
That's what we.
Yeah. I go to the Circle K a lot. My dad goes to the Circle K several times a day because the Circle K has the Sip and Save Club. So for $6.99, I think you can join the Sip and Save Club, and you can get one drink a day for free. This is actually a really great deal. Like you're actually probably going to save money. It's cheaper if you go get coffee at the Circle K every morning. That is cheaper than making your own coffee at home. If you actually go get coffee every single morning. My dad, he knows the people at his Circle K in Mount Airy, so sometimes they let him fill his coffee up twice a day. But I think it's only supposed to be once a day unless you know somebody. So the other day, Hunter loves asking questions like this, like, when you think of a coffee place, what do you think of? He asks questions like that all the time. He's annoying. But he asked that the other day, and so, and he asked me that, and I said, I don't know, Dirty Joe's. He said, I think Circle K. Because he goes with my dad a lot. So. Yeah, he is. All right. I'm recording myself saying my child is annoying. 5th, 6th graders, gosh. All right, so price of gas. Let's do the same thing here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this time we have an even number. So actually, I'm gonna do this. Let's see if I can make this look. Let's make this a little smaller so they'll all be in one line. I know I've already printed this and you can't do that, but so if I've got 8 right here, then right here between 209 and 211 is my median. So that would be 210. That splits each side into 4 numbers. So we would put our Q1 right here and our Q3 right here. And so to make a box plot for this one, we would have, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do $2. I'm going to leave a little space, 205, 210, 215, 220. You could count by 1 cent there and probably be okay on that. So if I want to draw my box plot, my lowest number is 201, so that's about right here. My first quartile, what is my first quartile? I didn't write it down. 207. So 207 would be about right here. 210 is my median. What's my third quartile? 12's not between 13 and 14. What's between 13 and 14? 13 and a half, so 2.135. So 2.135 is probably about right here. And then 217 would be about right here. So that would be our box plot for that problem. So I wanted to do a couple by hand so you understand what's going on here. So we can kind of see we got 25% of the data here, 25 here, 25 here, 25 here. But Desmos is easier. So if we want to get a 5-number summary in Desmos and do a box plot, let me split screen here. Make this so we can see. All right, so Let me get rid of the old stuff that I had. So if I type in that list right there, I want everybody to do this on their computer. So pull up Desmos for me. I'm going to say A equals, make sure you use the square brackets, just list those numbers there. And then in the next line, all you got to type is stats A.
You have 4 there instead of 5.
There we go. So all we have there is stats A. And then if we want it to do a box plot for us, box plot A as well. Now, I just typed in some random numbers when I made that list. I have something kind of interesting happening here. So minimum and first quartile are the same for this one. So when that happens, you won't have that part of the graph. So that whisker that we should have right there, we don't actually have a whisker on that side. That tells us that our data is really concentrated around 5. I just want to do that with my hand. That doesn't seem right. 5, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11. Is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers? That's all of them, right? Yeah, okay. And so middle number, yeah, okay, that's right. Middle number right here is 7. There's your median. So halfway, so this is only 3 numbers, so that Q1 is the middle of it. Q2 would be 10. So yeah, this happens sometimes where your minimum and your Q1 actually end up being the same. Particularly if you have a lot of repeated data. There. Okay, so I want everybody to make a box plot for that next set of data for me. I want you to do it on Desmos. I'm going to be coming around to look at it. I'm going to cut my screen off for a second while I do this because I want you guys doing it. And I use the capital A. You can use any letter for that. You don't have to use an A. Write down I want you to find the 5-number summary and do the box plot on Desmos, but write down the 5-number summary. Yes. Let's see.
I can't get mine to do right.
Let's see if I can. Let me put this in real quick and all.
Wait, do we have to put the comma?
Yes, there must be commas, or it won't do it right. And you don't have to do the 5-number summary to do the box plot, but you're going to need to write
I'm
that.
trying to get the original one to do right.
Use it. All right, so see how it did your box plot, but it didn't do the stats?
Yeah.
What's the difference between how you type in the stats and box plot?
Capital.
You use that capital A.
Lowercase.
And since you called it lowercase a, you have to use lowercase a.
This is just a quick question.
Yeah.
So, like, can we also use this to find the median and, like, we want to just, well, I guess just median of, like, something doing this, but
Yes, you could use that instead of median. Yep. Which is nice because you don't have to put the numbers in order. I've already got these in order because I was just making it easier to do it by hand if we need to, but yeah. All right, so the stats, so instruction right here, so you go to stats A. You use capital A because you've labeled that capital A. And then in the next one, we'll use box plot A. Use the square bracket. Let's see. So, yeah. and use parentheses instead of the brackets. You need to use, don't put parentheses around this A, right here. And you need to use the square bracket, which is just the key without hitting shift. Yeah, that, yeah. Should be right
Oh,
with that.
Can
Hit
you get
the,
that?
yeah, hit that button.
Yeah, actually, I think it's.
Alright. Square bracket, translate instead of parentheses. That, yeah.
Oh, dude, I'm okay with that.
You don't have to, yeah, you don't have to do shift for this. If you want one, we have to squiggle bracket. Alright. Hey, you got it, you get it to work there. Good. Alright. Okay. Alright, so you should have something that looks like this. Right here. And we're going to write down over here our minimum is 0. Q1 is 1. Median is 4. Q3 is 8. The maximum is 10. Okay. For sake of time, we're going to skip that next one. I think everybody's doing pretty well with this. The only trouble we were having was getting brackets and parentheses and stuff right. So, I need to know how many letters are in your first and last name. So, go with your legal name. So, count first and last name.
Samuel.
All right, Henry.
I have 7 and 5.
So, first and last name. Count how many letters are in your first and last name. Yeah, combined. Combine them together. Actually, I'm going to change that. Let's do your full name. First, middle, last. Like if you got 2 middle names, if you've got, if you got double last names, count it all.
Oh, for real?
Like what is on your birth certificate? All the letters.
Okay, so 14.
I got 7.
Yeah. So count it out.
I can't spell my name.
I have 15.
I have 2. I have 15.
I've got 7.
I'm trying to count the other 2.
All right, Easton, how many letters you got?
23.
All right. Zach, how many letters in your full name? Count them up. Jada, how many? How many? 14? All right. Have you counted yours up yet, Julie?
I have 26.
23, 18, 20, 17. All right, Gavin, 13. Peyton, 17. Alyssa, 19. Passion.
26.
All right, Vince, 18. 15. 15. Caroline. All right, 21. Pink. What's your middle name?
What's your?
You don't know?
That's 12. You don't know your middle name.
I don't know.
Wait, it's you 12. Think you so?
Odell.
What's your middle name?
It's 17. You show me.
What's
What's 9 plus 4?
Wait, are we doing middle names?
Middle name's included, yes.
No, it's 8.
No, okay. VHOMPSON. Wait.
60. So I have to make
longest name, Passion, you win.
And
A double middle name gets you. Yeah. And who was 11? Who was 11? Caroline. Yeah. Last name of Ray really helps to shorten that because Caroline's longer for first name, but 15. All right, so if we look at our box plot here, we can see that in the middle right here, our median here is 17. Lowest is at 11. Highest is at 26. All right, so if I make the statement, most people have between 19.5 and 26 letters in their name. Is that true? Most people have between 19.5 and 26 letters in their name? No, that's not true. What percentage of the class has names that are that long? We should know 19.5 is right here to right here, which is 25%. Each piece of the box plot contains 25%, right? So if I make this statement, half of the class has 17 or fewer letters in their name. Is that true? Okay, that is true because half, less than 17, that would be this part, which is 25, and this part, which is 25. That would be true. Mm-hmm.
Section 25, but I thought.
Okay.
I recounted it.
All right, recount here. 25. Passion still wins, though. All right. Okay, so that's important for us to remember there. All right. So I want you to answer these 4 questions right here, true, false. And you cannot answer them with this letter.
That's an L.
This is what a lot of kids like to put on true, false questions.
Oh, trying to make it both?
So that whenever you say that they are wrong, they just tell you it was the other letter. Don't do that.
What do you mean it was false? So what do you mean it was true? I was like, I accidentally put that right there.
Obviously, you've never been desperate on a true, false test before, Easton.
Yeah, you might as well even up your 100%.
All right. Okay. Answer these 4 quietly. If I had not erased it already, we could have used our data for the pets. Make sure you got an answer for these. I'm going to randomly call on you. No. Okay. All right. Julian, what do you think for number 1? 75% of the students surveyed have less than or equal to 4 pets. There's nothing to write down. This is true or false. True or false? 75% of the students surveyed have less than or equal to 4 pets. He's answered it like this. Okay? It is true. How do we know it's true?
What do you mean 75% of the
Surveyed. So, right here is 4, right? If we look below, each piece of the box plot is 25%. So you got 25% in this part of the box, 25% here, and 25% here. 25% here as well. But we are looking at 4 and below. Right? So if we add those 3 pieces together, we got 75% of our data. This is also our third quartile right here. And the third quartile is going to give you 75% and below. Okay? Zane, what do you think on number 2? Most students in the class have between 4 and 8 pets.
False.
That is false. Why is it false, Zane?
Good answer. Well, thank you.
Explain it.
Good answer, we didn't know.
He explained how he thought it.
All right. Why did you know that it was? That was mine. Between 4 and 8, what percentage of the students surveyed are there? 25%. That's not most, right? Most would have to be 50 or more. So that is not true. Okay. All right. Let's see. Ayla, half of the students have 1 to 4 pets. That's true. Okay. Here we have from 1. You're right. I should have asked her that. From 1 to 4. That encloses 50% of our data, right? And then let's see, Wade. What about number 4? 1/4 of the students have no pets. I'm not going to ask you this one on the test because probably Thursday next week. We got things to do. All right, so this is one you actually, it's possibly true. But think of how you find quartiles. So if our data looks like this, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 4, 4, 4, 4. I need a 3 somewhere. Let's see. Let's put a... All right, ignore the rest of the... Well, let's say right here. 2.5 right here. No, I need a 2. Let's say our data looks like this. Pretend right here, this is our median. I don't know if I've not got it right on this part. Ignore this part because I'm making something up here. But if our data looks like this, then the first quartile is 1 and the minimum is 0. So that wouldn't be 1/4 of the students. There's only 1 student that has 0 pets, right? So there could be more than 1 student that has 1 pet that fall around that area. But it's possibly true. But as I said, I left it on here because I just wanted us to think about it. But I'm not going to ask you that one on the test. There. Okay. So, percentiles. This is the last thing that I want to talk about today. So percentiles, there is one place you see percentiles. Now you might see them in a lot of other places, but there's one place I know you guys see percentiles often. That is on your end of course exams or end of grade exams, right? A percentile is not the grade you made on the test. Okay? A percentile is the percentage of data points that lie below a given data point. So, if you get your EOC back for Math 1, and it says you were in the 94th percentile, it does not mean you got 94% of the questions right. In fact, it's probably more like you got 75% of the questions right. But 94th percentile means they compared you to all the other kids who took the test, and you did better than 94% of them. So that's pretty good, right? That means if there were 100 kids, you did better than 94 of them. That's pretty good. What about if you're in the 12th percentile? That means if there were 100 of us, that you did better than 12. That's not as good, right? Now, they do compare you to the last year's scores because, like, schools take tests at different times. So when you get percentile, it is not compared to the kids who took the test this year. It's compared to years before. So there's a little variability there, but it's generally pretty accurate for that year as well. So that is something that you need to know. So, these are multiple choice. This is going to be your homework, but this should not take too long. They're mostly multiple choice. In fact, not only, yeah, these are quick.
Wait.
And I was going to give you your predicted percentile for this class, but I did not prepare. I was going to give it to you while you worked on yours, but I ran out of time. Alright, so this is your assignment. Have it for me on Monday. Thank you. Make your choice. I don't think we have. I'm going to say it's been a single day. Unless there's been a single day. If, I know this is weekend homework. If everybody will do their homework. If the whole entire class has their homework. Then I will give everybody a late worker bathroom pass. Everybody in the whole room has to have it though. Everyone. I don't know why you didn't get one of those. That should be Cameron's right there. Somebody's got an extra somewhere.